Okay, check my notes. Okay. Oh, hi. I'm Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Even though I sound like I'm from Kansas, I'm really from Nebraska, and I do not approve of this message.
Here it comes, television's most exciting hour of leftist idiots. Today we introduce the man known for embellishing stories, lying about his military record, his travels to China, and doesn't even know what's in the abortion bills he signs as governor. His chronic nervousness is accompanied by erratic and awkward hand motions. And, most notably, he looks absolutely terrified when put on the spot in a debate. All right, Tim Walz, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Dems Aren't Right.
Well, why can't you just mind your own dang business? Now, from Times Square, here he is. It's That Kevin Show.
10, 3, 8.
Somewhere in the bowels of the city that never sleeps
Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media,
is a man also not sleeping.
Syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough.
And that guy would like a word with you.
Many of you know him as Vostradamus.
Of course that Kevin show is going to be great. The only thing that could be greater, of course, would be That Donald Show. We don't have that, so we have That Kevin Show.
Featuring the music of Dick Tunney and the Dream in Color Orchestra. Yet to come, Mike Huckabee with the latest from Decision 24. Sketch comedy from the Babylon Bee and Dilly Memes. He's past the point of no return, former Phantom David Gashin, and Flory in the spotlight. And now, from Times Square, a man who's excited because all 8 New York sports teams are still eligible for the playoffs. Here's the...
Well, Dave, I'm not going to lie. I think it's kind of cool that all 8 teams are still in the playoffs.
They're not.
Oh, not in the playoffs. The baseball teams are in the playoffs.
Yes.
So how do I get to the...
The other ones haven't played yet.
Yeah, that's not as big of a deal as I thought it was.
Yeah, don't even started.
I thought it was going to be a bigger deal, but almost none of the other seasons have started, and
Nope.
football teams are already in contention.
Already on the
being
verge
bounced.
of elimination.
So I guess that's kind of a bummer, actually. It's sad when you think about it.
Oh,
Anyway,
well.
Kevin McCullough, let's do the news. For Assignment Desk Weekend, I'm Kevin McCullough. At just over 30 days before the election, the Harris administration finds itself in a hornet's nest of pushback over its plan to assist the victims of Hurricane Helene. In massive public response, the Office of the Vice President is attempting to walk back their offer of $750 per victim. At first, the public believed that Harris was walking it back to naturally increase the payout. Turns out she was just taking her check and going home. One of the complicating factors in this year's hurricane relief has been the stoppage of U.S. ports. The union has since announced it will delay the strike until after the election. In related news, the union boss behind the stoppage has been identified publicly as a former mafia assassin. When Assignment Desk Weekend asked the union head about the claim, he simply gruffly replied, "Who wants to know?" Later, he added, "How do you think I got this job to begin with?" The Department of Homeland Security had an embarrassing end to the week when Secretary Mayorkas had to admit that the department was running out of money. As we later learned, the FEMA budget had been completely depleted because Mayorkas and Harris had used $1 billion in FEMA monies instead of what it was supposed to be, putting it instead towards placing illegal immigrants into the USA with housing and feeding programs. The two very things that U.S. citizens that are victims of Helene desperately now need. The problem was also made worse by a July claim from Mayorkas that was uncovered on video, claiming that everything was A-OK. Just in time for October, an expert is now claiming that the modern-day serial killers likely hide amongst the trucker community in America. Great. As if pulling off the highway didn't already fill every heart with intrepidation of every bad horror movie that has ever been made. You know what I'm talking about. You're driving late at night, you're on the highway, you pull off to fill up the gas, and all you see are large trucks on either side of where you are. And it's dark. The former star of the TV show Girl Meets World and recording artist Sabrina Carpenter is now facing criticism from a group she had not expected to receive it from. Mothers of her female teen fans. In fact, they're lining up on Carpenter's social media and Reddit rooms criticizing the performer's stage costumes, the vast majority of which are lingerie. See-through, lace, satin, silk comprise about 70% of her wardrobe for her new concert tour. The mothers claiming they'd like a more wholesome example for their daughters. When fathers of those same teen girls were asked their opinions, they said, "You mean that's not how girls dress almost everywhere else these days?" In reply, the singer simply said she was already nervous enough about being on stage with thousands of people watching her without having to wear clothes that made her uncomfortable. Because, you know, a girl always feels most comfortable in stilettos and underthings projected on 90-foot screens. For Assignment Desk Weekend, I'm Kevin McCullough.
Welcome, comrades. Josephina here. Today we're going to be going over some absolutely fab socialist cooking recipes. Let's see what we're working with here. There's nothing. How am I supposed to? I mean, this is great. I have everything I need right here. So I guess you're going to wash, let's say they're potatoes, and peel them. I like to use this peeler, but you can also use, I learned against my will, the bayonet off an AK-47. It's a punishing experience that you'll learn a lot from. I was informed. Our main course today is, I have to cook with something! I mean, sorry, everything's fine. Our main course is, this single pea. Oh. First we'll want to season. I need, salt. A single grain of salt should be more than enough. Let that rest. This single grain of salt will break down into the pea, bringing the barely any flavor to life. Next, we'll need to cut it. You need to be incredibly careful. If you get a bad cut, one that requires stitches or any medical care, you're out of luck. Trust me. This is impossible. Okay, now that our potatoes and this tiny, almost non-existent main dish are done, we can toss them in the oven. Of course, since this is an authentic socialist recipe, we have no power or gas in this place. So the food's just gonna have to sit there. Just sit in a broken oven. Hopefully it's a hot day and the temperature can warm it up a little bit, you know? Or maybe you at home can try rubbing a couple sticks together to create a little warmth. So how long should we put this in there for? Okay, gotta get past the guards, hop the fence, climb through the sewage pipe. Okay, should take about 45 minutes to escape. I mean, cook in the oven. Here we go. we're about ready to enjoy this delicious socialist meal. Wow. Now that's what it tastes like to live in a socialist utopia. Next week, I'll show you another socialist recipe. Oh, and it sounds like we might have some more ingredients to cook with. Until then,
Ready or not, we'll be right back.